So, Jesse, what happened with the,
He got beat up at school.
Jesse?
Somebody beat the shit out of me.
So, would you like to tell me about it?
Not particularly.
He was jumped in the men's bathroom of the Whitney Museum while they were on a class trip by some rich kid who doesn't even go to their school.
Marissa? Paul has something to tell you.
Is it Nate?
My art class took a trip to the Whitney, and Nate lives like right across the street, right on 75th, so I just thought I'd call him and leave him a message, you know, because he's been leaving me so many lately, and I don't know. He picked up. Fucker didn't have school that day, and he was like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "At the Whitney," and he was like, "Meet me in the men's room on the 3rd floor," and I was like, "Fine," because I didn't want to go back to class and spend the morning staring at those George O'Keeffe flower vaginas. Those things give me the creeps. She doesn't even know who George O'Keeffe is. So anyway, we like go into one of the stalls and we're kissing. And he's like, "You look hot." And I'm like, "Then suck my dick." What? So he gets down on his knees, which I have to admit is like the hottest thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm like rock hard, and all of a sudden he starts talking. "I've been thinking about you. I've missed you. I've been trying to call your house." And I'm like not about to have this conversation. So I'm just like, "Yeah, well, I didn't get those messages because we're living in a shelter for the time being." And he like looks at me like he doesn't believe me. And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Nothing." And then he tries to suck my dick, but he can't because I've lost my fucking boner. So I like start to pull up my pants, and he's like, "What the fuck just happened?" And I'm like, "You can't suck dick for shit." And that's when he hit me. And he like just kept hitting me until the guards came in and took him off me. Felt kind of good, actually.
You'll only make...
Don't touch me.
If I may, Doctor, I'm worried the school overreacted because Jesse is, well,
Gay?
yes.
Why can't you say the word?
I just wonder if he was straight and got caught fighting with another boy. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. I think it's a valid point.
No, it's not. It's a ridiculous point. I was fighting. Fighting is illegal. You get suspended for fighting.
But you weren't fighting so much, darling, as being
Did you listen to
abused
a word
by
I
this
just
older, bigger...
said?
I don't care.
I told him to suck my dick.
I don't care if you told him to go paddle a duck. Words are one thing. Physical violence is something very different.
Paddle a duck.
Come on, Jesse.
No, that's good. I'll have to remember that one. God, you are sick, Marissa.
I'm sick. I'm not the one who...
likes cock. It's not a fucking disease, Marissa, no matter what they teach you in Bible study.
That is not what I was going to say.
Oh, what were you going to say then?
You... Never mind.
Say it!
No, I don't know what I was going to say.
You are such a fucking liar!
Jesse,
What?
you have to talk to your mother like that? You do it outside my office.
Thank you.
We'll discuss what happened with Nate in a minute. But can I ask you, Mrs. D'Amato, why you came here with Jesse today?
He said you asked me to.
Well, as long as you're here, is there anything that you would like to say to your son?
What do you mean?
Well, this room is a safe place. So if there was any conversation that you wanted to have that might be difficult...
Wait. Isn't there something that you want to tell me?
How long is the suspension?
Oh,
It's just a week.
So you'll be at home for a week.
Yeah. Why?
Because it might be an opportunity to discuss certain things with your parents.
What are we going to tell your father?
You haven't told him?
No, not yet.
What the fuck are you... I mean, why the hell... Why not?
He's been gone, Jesse.
Where is he?
He's on some job in Trenton.
And when will he be back?
Tomorrow?
Maybe you should call him tonight.
Yeah, not a fucking chance.
Why not?
Because I don't want him to rip out my ball sack.
Jesse! Is that what you're telling him? Is that what he's telling you?
Jesus, Marissa, take a fucking joke.
Roberto will be upset, of course. But he's not violent. He's just worried about Jesse getting into college. We both are. Now that he's suspended, I thought this might be the one place he wouldn't feel like he had to lie. They said maybe if he came here, if he talked to a professional person.
Well, don't sweat it. Okay, I'll be out of your hair long before all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Where's your Royal Highness going?
To Westchester.
Westchester, why not Paris?
Because Karen doesn't live in Paris, she lives in Westchester.
Who is Karen?
My birth mother. She called me and she wants me back.
This is why you wanted me to come here today? To tell me this? You couldn't have just called me on the phone.
Well, I think that Jesse wanted you to come because this would be a safe place.
Safe place? Safe for who? When did she call? No. You know what? I don't want to know. I don't want to.
Mrs. D'Amato?
No, you two clearly have much to discuss. This is a major psychological event for Jesse. I'm sure you'll be very helpful, Dr. Weston. I'd just be in the way.
Mrs. D'Amato, really appreciate it if you stayed. I'm sure Jesse would as well. Thank you.
See?
See what?
I told you. She doesn't give two shits about me.
That's what you just saw happening?
Yeah, she couldn't wait to get out of here.
Is that the way you and your mother normally interact?
What do you mean?
I mean, that dynamic, the conversation that just took place. Would you say that that was normal?
I don't normally tell her about calls from my birth mother.
No, I'm not talking about the content. I'm more curious about the tone.
Tone?
You were angry. You were abusive.
No, I wasn't. I am angry. I mean, what the fuck? She can't handle anything.
Is that why you asked her to come into therapy today? Were you hoping that I'd help her handle the news about Karen?
Dude, Ms. Yu made me bring her. She said it was a contingent term of my suspension. They wanted to expel me. Why are you always on her goddamn side?
You clearly wanted me to tell Marissa about Karen's phone call.
Well, yeah, sure, but not so that you could become besties.
Okay, then why? Last week you were telling me about some pictures that you took when you were younger at a family reunion. You said that you showed the pictures to your mother and she hated them. What was in those pictures?
Why?
I'm just wondering if there's a pattern here in the way that your mother responds to certain things.
We had to do this family tree at school, and the teacher said that I could do mine in pictures because I had this new camera.
Where did you get the camera?
Roberto. For my birthday. So yeah, anyway, I took a bunch of pictures of like my cousins and my grandparents and shit, and then we were all hanging out at the beach, so I started taking pictures of other people. And there were these two older guys in the lifeguard tower, and one of them was the lifeguard, but the other one was his friend or something. And I watched them go into the water and I followed them. I pretended I was taking pictures of the waves. When they came out of the water, I found a rusty nail, and I stepped on it.
You deliberately stepped on it.
Yeah. It went right through my foot, and the lifeguard, like, freaked out. But the other guy was cool. Peter. He, had me sterilize my foot in the salt water, and he removed the nail. He said he was pre-med, and then we went to the hospital together. We had to do this, like, show and tell thing at school, and a bunch of parents came, and I showed my pictures, and, Marissa asked the teacher to take them down. She said those men weren't a part of our family.
But that was true, wasn't it?
I think Marissa told him about them.
Why do you think that?
He changed.
In what ways did he change?
He got really busy all of a sudden. He used to, like, take me to Coney Island almost every other weekend, and suddenly it was too far. He used to drive me to school every morning. Suddenly I was old enough to take the bus.
I've only spent these 20 minutes with your mother, but from what I observed, she's defending you, Jesse. She's trying to make sure you're not being discriminated against because you're gay.
It's bullshit!
You think she's pretending?
Of course she's pretending. She wants you to think she's a good mother.
So it was a performance for my sake.
She's Catholic. I mean, as far as they're concerned, I'm like Satan's spawn. She hates me.
I think you're terrified, Jesse.
Of what?
That the same thing is going to happen again. And that they're going to pull away even further.
Why are you acting like this is all in my head? She left. You saw her leave.
I think you're really upset that she left. Where do you imagine she went?
How the hell should I know?
What's happening in your head?
Static. I bet she's at church. When I was little, she loved church. She went every Sunday, and I would go with her, get all dressed up in my little jacket and clip-on tie. She stopped going after I came out. She was too ashamed to go back.
Is it not possible that she no longer wanted to support an institution that didn't have room for her son?
No.
You don't think that's possible?
She was here for 15 minutes. You think now you know her better than I do?
No. Of course I don't. Have you heard anything more from Karen? Have you given any thought to calling her back?
That's all I ever think about.
Well, then we should talk about your options next week.
Whatever, Paul.